Welcome to Crocodile MTG, your home of competitive, constructed play in all Magic the Gathering formats. Today's video was brought to you by all our wonderful sponsors, affiliates, and patrons. Thank you all for supporting the Crocodile MTG channel, and we hope you enjoy today's video. I kind of want to lean towards Theros. You like Ravnica? Hey, how do you say your name? Cork? G-Cork? Good morning. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I think we're going to go ahead and jump into a Ravnica draft then, if that is what the audience prefers. Let's see. Pack 1, pick 1. What do we grab here? Oh, I know the Elspeth one because I hate the card. I think it's actually bad. The Elspeth Planeswalker or the Elspeth Beyond's Death? Elspeth Conquers Death, because that card's really good. Alright, Mirror March. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, flip a coin until you lose the flip. For each flip you won, create a token of that creature. Those creatures gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of each end step. The Planeswalker with Escape. Oh, yeah. The Planeswalker Elspeth from Theros is actually pretty good. Alright, what's our pack 1 pick 1 here? Is it just... Mirror March is kind of expensive, especially for Ravnica Allegiance. Ravnica Allegiance is pretty grindy for the most part. I kind of like the Spirit of the Spires. The Guildmage isn't bad. Dovin's Acuity... I am struggling to say words this morning. Dovin's isn't bad. Guildmage isn't bad either. If we wanted to go more an aggressive route, we could go like a blue-white flyers type build. I like blue-white and Esper in this set because the flyers are pretty decent. The Dovin's is decent also because we can go more of a control route and pick up blue-white cards. That being said, maybe I just pick up the Dovin's and then see how our deck ends up, because we can still do this like blue-white flyers thing, but also playing the Dovin's helps us draw cards, gain some life, and just get some incremental value throughout the game. Alright, this pack doesn't look great for our pack 1 Dovin's. I like Titanic Brawl in this pack. I like Get to the Point. I don't mind just picking up a Guildgate here also in case we end up being not a good booster. No. I don't mind picking up a Guildgate here just to play an extra, or in case we play an extra color. If we're going like a more controlling route, we can just grab Thought Collapse here, but I'm not a big fan of the mill strategy in Ravnica Allegiance. I kind of like Ill-Gotten Inheritance also. I'm not a big fan of like these white cards here. And I'm not a big fan of Thought Collapse. Kind of think just picking up the Guildgate. This pack 2, picking up a Guildgate just feels bad though. Enters battlefield, count the number of 1/1 counters on creatures you control. Creatures you control with power less than or equal to that number can't block. Let's just pick up the Rumbling Ruins and see how this draft plays out, because if we end up going into like a different color, like I don't have to go into blue-white. We kind of want to play and see what's open. I like Savage Smash here, especially if we end up going like red-green. I think that's the best card in this pack. I like Torrential Boar as well. Let's pick up the Salvage Smash here. I feel like we're gonna end up going red-green unless we get some good blue-white cards here shortly. And this pack takes us right back to blue-white because we want to pick up the Sphinx's Insight. If we're going green, though, I don't mind picking up the Brush. Seems the guy passes, you play white-blue. Yeah, it's hard because it's like a pack 1, pick 1, and then pack 1, pick 2. And then pack 1, pick 3 is just kind of... It's also difficult because of bots. Like, the bots end up kind of being difficult to play around. I kind of want to just pick up the Sylvan Brush Strider here. And just start tuning more of a red-green deck. And maybe splashing black if we need to. But none of these black cards really excite me. I think I'm going to go ahead and just pick up the Sylvan here. Alright, if we end up splashing blue, we could pick up the Growth Spiral here. I'm just going to move Dove into the sideboard. I'm not really excited about that card. We passed a lot of Simic Guildgates, so I'm expecting one of them to probably wield. I could see playing blue in this deck, especially with the Rumbling Ruin. Playing more of like an Evolve type mechanic is probably going to be better for us here. So let's go ahead and pick up the Growth Spiral, and then hopefully we'll get a couple of these Guildgates, which we just found one here. Here's another Growth Spiral, though, which I don't mind picking up here. I'm not a huge fan of Daggercaster unless we're playing like specifically red-black, because we can Daggercaster, hold priority, and give it Death Touch and then kill everything. But not playing the black here. I kind of think I just want the Growth Spiral. So I think that'll be the pick here. Alright, we have a Quench if we're splashing blue. And red might also be our splash. We might end up just going into a heavy blue-green deck. It all depends on what kind of wields to us. I don't mind the Quench. I don't mind the Sage also. We can pick up another Sylvan here, but it's pretty early. We could pick up a Steeple Creeper. Since we are playing the blue, we do have the ability to give it flying. And maybe Steeple Creeper's the pickup here. I'm kind of leaning towards Steeple Creeper or Quench. I do like a good Quench. Let's pick up Quench here and see what we end up in. I'm sorry, I said Evolve earlier, I meant Adapt. Which I kind of like the Skitter Eel here. Let's go ahead and pick that up. If we're playing more of a heavy blue, we could play Senate Griffin, but I don't think that's the pick here. I'm not really in love with anything in this pack, to be honest. So maybe we just pick up the Griffin and see how things kind of play out. Act of Treason's okay, but I'm not a fan of playing that, and it's likely we get one later in the game anyhow. Alright, let's pick up the Titanic Brawler now that we're in green. That's actually a decent removal spell. I don't mind Shimmer possibilities here. It's basically Anticipation, that's sorcery speed. All these black cards came back to us. I'm not really a huge fan of the black cards here. That being said, let's go ahead and just grab draw 4 cards, discard 2. I could see playing that. Let's go ahead and pick that up here. Let's play Hexproofing Homunculus, and we've got Servant Pack. Alright, so this pack is looking a lot better for us, especially now that we went in the blue-green direction, because now we have Zagana. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. I think that's going to be the pick here. I don't really see anything else that we're looking for. A couple other good cards is like Wrecked Beast. We have Wayfinder also in this pack. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and pick up Zagana here. Oh, and we cycle right into the Replicate and the Redubiate. That might be the pick here, actually. But we also have this Gyre Engineer, which is really good. So Zagana is a legendary, but we have a bunch of other cards that aren't. So we can actually make a copy of the creature, or we can counter a triggered ability if we want. I also do like Engineer here because it does give us the ability to ramp. I also don't mind the Homunculus here. So I'm kind of leaning towards one of these 3 cards, the dual blue-green cards. You like the flyer? Yeah, the flyer is good. It's just a matter of... Like, ramp is also going to be pretty good in this deck, I believe. Being able to play this on turn 3 and then ramp right up to 5 or 6 mana. I feel like it's going to be pretty good here. I think let's go ahead and pick up the Gyre Engineer and hope the replicate wheels. I do like the flyer, so if any other packs we find here have the flyer, I might pick that up. I do like the Guardian Troll here. It gives everything with a +1/+1 counter trample. I also don't mind the Essence Scatter, but again, this is more of a situational card, and if you top deck it, it feels pretty bad. So I don't mind picking up the Guardian. And now we have the Galloping Lizard as well. So when it enters the battlefield, you may remove any number of 1/1 counters from creatures you control, and then put twice that many on the Frog. It also has Trample, which is extremely good. We have a Growth Spiral and a Homunculus, but I think I have to pick up the uncommon here in the Liz Frog. And we might end up just straight up cutting red. Like, we only have 2 cards in red at the moment, which is kind of crazy because we started in blue-white and then went to red-green, and now we're blue-green, so we're completely different. Going for the 5 mana net, you next to nothing. You have 1 card that casts for 4 or more. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Engineer, though. Alright, we have a 3/5 for each here. We have the Area Homunculus as well. We also have a Petromander, but I don't think we're playing enough instants and sorceries to make the Petromander reliable. That being said, I don't mind the Area Homunculus here. If the Spider wields, we'll definitely pick that up as well. I really like the spiders in this format because it just completely blocks so many cards. Alright, here is an Incubate Incongruity, which can be a removal spell, or it also can be a find a creature spell. Oh, but we also have the Applied Biomancy, which I think actually might be better. And this might wield, since it's an uncommon and 2 specific colors. I kind of like the Biomancy more than that, because it can return a creature and give something +1/+1, so you can kind of use it as a combat trick. Alright, let's hope the Biomancy wheels. Let's go ahead and take the Incubation here. Alright, Thought Collapse isn't bad, but I don't think it's necessarily what we want. I kind of want the Rubble Slinger here to be able to block things with Reach. I also don't mind the Rentorn here. Scudder isn't like a huge... It's not really something I'm super interested in. It's a 6/6 for 6. It has Defender, so it can't really attack. If it had the ability to attack, I might pick it up here, but I kind of like the Rubble Slinger here as an early way to just kind of block flyers. Again, I don't really mind the Beast either. Or we could also splash our red cards here, because like Salvage Smash is pretty good. I don't mind Crusher here. Let's go ahead and pick up the Slinger, though. It's still in our colors, and I think it's pretty decent as an early drop. Alright, we have Open the Gates in this pack. We also have Fairy Duelist, which isn't bad. It comes down, it gives something -2/-0, and then it's able to block something. I think I'm going to pick up the Fairy Duelist here, but I could see Open the Gate also being pretty good. Alright, Wayfinder here. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it on top of your library. Put the rest on the bottom. I kind of like Beast over the Wayfinder here. We don't have a lot of early plays. Actually, we do have quite a few early plays. We have the Growth Spirals and things. Let's go ahead and pick up Beast here. Alright, here I don't mind the Homunculus, but I also like the Regenesis. Being able to return 2 permanent cards from your graveyard and putting them into your hand is pretty decent here. None of the red cards really stand out to me as a necessary splash card. Let's go ahead and pick up the Regenesis. Alright, here I like the Creeper. Again, the Essence Scattered Wield, which is kind of tempting to pick up here. Especially since we have a couple instant speed things that we could be playing. It is double blue. But again, we are a pretty heavy blue deck. Let's go ahead and pick up the Steeple Creeper here, but Essence Scatter does look pretty tempting. Alright, here's another Growth Spiral, which I'm tempted just to grab. I think that is going to be the grab here. Alright, we'll pick up Petromander. Another Fairy Duelist, and Toon Street Hooligan. You'll go on the side. Alright, here we have Warden and Warrant. Warrant is actually pretty decent. We can actually play Warrant in our blue-green deck. Putting target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library is actually pretty decent. It's a very powerful ability. We also have Chillbringer, though, in this pack. Which Chillbringer might actually be better than a Warrant. Yeah, I kind of like the Chillbringer more than anything else in this pack. Let's go ahead and pick that up. Alright, we have a pretty decent Adapt card here, giving all our Adapt creatures flying. We also have a Frilled Mystic, which is very tempting to pick up here. So Spy helps us be aggressive, but Frilled Mystic helps us be more reactive. Kind of like the Frilled Mystic on this one. Let's go ahead and pick that up here. Another Zagana. I think that's going to be the pickup. We have another Applied Biomancy, but Zagana is just being a powerhouse, and having two of them is just going to be insane in the draft. Alright, here I'm not seeing a ton I like. We can pick up another Servant as an early play, which I don't mind. I don't think we want another Fairy Duelist, but let's go ahead and pick up the Rose Servant here. Savant, not Servant. We have a Clear the Mind, we have a Dispose Deploy, which I don't think I'm really interested in. Just tapping a creature and drawing a card is not really what I'm into. We have a Titanic Brawl, though, which is a pretty decent fight spell and a removal. I kind of like the Titanic here. We also have a Guild Gate, but I'm kind of playing two colors. I don't think we need the Guild Gates as much, and we kind of want to be playing things untapped. Let's go ahead and pick up Titanic Brawl here. Alright, I don't mind picking up this other beast, especially since we're kind of a ramp deck. We have, 3 Growth Spirals, and we have the Gyre here. That being said, we also have a Steel Creeper in this pack, which I don't mind. Maybe we just pick up the Steel Creeper and be more tempo-oriented. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's pick up Steel Creeper. Here's another Frog. What is going on with these packs? I feel like this deck is getting to the point of possibly being busted if we build it correctly. Let's go ahead and pick up the Galloping Rose Frog. Alright, that's a pretty good card, but we're not playing the red splash, unfortunately, so we can't play the Collision. We can still pick it up and put it on our sideboard just in case we want it, but I think Slime Bind here is a little bit better. Whenever a gate enters the battlefield under your control, it can't be blocked. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and pick up Slime Bind as kind of a pseudo-removal spell. I don't mind here the Shimmer possibility. I also think we want to Clear the Mind, though. There's a lot of things like mill decks out, and some of these games can go pretty long. I don't mind Clear the Mind here. Shimmering, though, makes us more consistent, which I kind of like. Clear the Mind or Shimmering? I think we need to take Shimmering and just be more consistent and hope we don't run into any mill decks. Alright, here's another Adapt creature. We also have another Steeple Frog. I think I'm fine picking up the Adapt here. Nothing in this pack I'm really interested in. Guess we'll grab red. red card. Homunculus. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pick up him here. Alright, here's a Clear the Mind, which we can possibly play. I guess we take Tower Defense. Alright. So we get some coins for our Zagana here. I need to get some coffee in me. You have many bombs. Yeah, the bombs are going to feel pretty good here. I don't know if we want to play Petromander because I don't know if we have enough instants and sorceries. I can see cutting the Slinger here. I don't think it's very powerful. I like Wrecking Beast. Pry the Eyes is okay. That's one we maybe consider. Regenesis is alright also. I could see cutting those. I'm just going through and making my quick cuts where I don't feel like I'm going to want to play the card, but Clear the Mind, Regrowth, Titanic Brawl. Maybe we take out the Slime. I like Shimmering. I like Savant. What do you say about Fairy Duelist, Dan? I like Duelist more than Servant. Yeah, we already have 2 Duelists, though. I didn't really think we wanted all of them. I mean, we can play more of an instant speed game. What's our deck look like at the moment? 18 creatures, 11 non-creatures. I could see cutting quite a few of the creatures here. The question is, what do we want to cut? I think we want both the Zaganas. I think it'd be silly to cut them. I like the Homunculus. Maybe we just cut the Steeple Creeper. A 4/2 on face value is like not that great, and there's quite a bit of removal spell here. You think the 1/2 flyer is better than a 2/1 crowned? I don't know. I'm getting it more for the consistency. I think it's a good blocker against a lot of the red decks. Actually, I take that back because we're playing Ravnica Allegiance, and so there's a lot of things that are like when this creature becomes blocked, deal 1 damage to it. Maybe you're correct. Maybe the Savant's not as good here, and maybe the Fairy Duelist is better. I think we're going to have to cut it Clear the Mind. Let's go ahead and bring the deck out a little bit. Maybe we trim the Quench also, but I kind of like the Quench if we're going more instant speed. I think we're going to have to cut the Creepers here. I don't think they're actually very good. I think we're going more for like an instant speed / ramp deck. That can get things like the Liz Frog activated. I could see maybe trimming the Pry the Eyes, but I just feel like late game it's going to feel good, especially if we burn out of gas pretty quick. That being said, though, we do have cards like Growth Spiral that's going to be drawing us cards. And also, I believe, doesn't Zagana draw cards? Whenever enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with a 1/1 counter, draw a card. Yeah, Zagana's not bad here. And we have the Shimmering possibilities. Maybe it's just Pry the Eyes we cut here. I think this looks pretty good. We have 14 creatures, 9 non-creature. Our average CMC is about 3.3 because we do have quite a few 5 and we have a 7 drop here. But I feel like overall, I feel like our deck's pretty instant speed and reactive, and I feel like it'll be pretty good early game. Let's go ahead and pick our sleeves here. Since we're going blue-green, maybe we just do like Kiora or Nissa. I also don't mind our Tamiyo sleeves here. Let's play with our Tamiyo sleeves. See how it goes. Alright, we'll go ahead and jump in here to the game. Good morning if you joined me during the draft. My name is Jordan. I run a YouTube channel called Crocodile MTG. I play primarily internal formats, so anything like Modern, Pioneer, and Legacy over on that channel. But I do like the stream. We were going to do some Vintage Cube, but unfortunately MTGO is down for maintenance. So we are going to go ahead and play some draft. Right now we're playing a Ravnica Allegiance Draft, and thank you so much for being here. I think this hand is keepable. We have the Fairy Duelist in the Growth Spiral early. We do have our 7 and 5 drop, but hopefully these Growth Spiral can ramp us up here. And if they play anything aggressive... Okay, that's not aggressive. Alright, so hopefully we draw another land here also, because then we can just go right into the Skitter Eel next turn. Alright, so our opponent so far is green. I'm not sure if they realize this card needed another creature to tap for the mana. I think they're trying to use it right now, but that's not going to work out for them. Here I'm going to go ahead and Growth Spiral. Alright, we did draw another land, which was good. Alright, we drew another Growth Spiral. So if we draw another land next turn, we can go ahead and adapt the Eel, attack in for 5, and then the following turn we can play Liz Frog. Alright, put a 1/1 counter on it, sure. Let's see if they block here. It looks like they missed a land drop, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and activate here. Hit them for 5. Well, hit the creature for 5. And our opponent, it looks like they're missing some land drops here, which is pretty unfortunate. And unfortunately, it's just going to be a concession here. It really sucks when this happens, especially in just best of 1 drafts. Missing land drops isn't good. I highly recommend mulliganing aggressively during this. What do we get here? Kiora Best the Sea God. Dang. That's actually a pretty good, just rare to come out of small awards here. Alright, we'll jump into game number 2. Hopefully our opponent doesn't get mana screwed this time. It always sucks when it happens. Alright, I don't mind this hand. We have 3 land drops, we have 2 Shimmering, and then we have our Eel into Frog again. So let's hopefully get there with this. And if we draw something like a Growth Spiral, I think I'm more incentivized to play the Growth Spiral next turn over one of these Shimmerings. Just because it ramps us up and makes it so we can get a turn 3 Eel going. Oh wow, okay. A Hollowed Fountain. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and play Shimmering here. Next turn I'll play Engineer. I kind of like the Guardian in this hand. Especially if we're ramping up with Engineer. Let's go ahead and grab Guardian here. Hope everyone is having a good day. Happy Wednesday. Alright, let's go ahead and just play Gyre here. And hopefully our opponent doesn't have like a Quench or something if they're just playing like a control deck. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell. Alright, they have a Fairy Duelist, which is fine. I think next turn, I think we just play the Guardian. If we draw a land, what we can do is play Eel also and then Brawl something. If we want to remove anything. Alright, there's Officer. Giving this +1/+1, attacking, that's fine. Alright, we drew a land, so what do we want to do here? I kind of think we want to Eel and Shimmering possibilities. Well, I don't want to play the Liz Frog until we have things with counters on it, because then it can pump up here. This is just a 3/3 without the counters. I think I'm fine with playing Skittering Eel here and then finding something off this. Alright, I'll take the Wrecking Beast here. And if we draw a land, we can actually just run out the Beast next turn. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take 4 here. I think we're pretty likely to outsize our opponent, so... They have Courier here. Alright, and I think we're just going to go ahead and jam out the Wrecking Beast here. And attack in for just 6, I guess. I can see blocking Eel on the Officer next turn. I should have done it the turn before until I... Because my original plan is to adapt this and then jam either a Guardian or the Liz Frog and then pump up the Liz Frog. So maybe I wait a turn here. My ideal situation would be drawing a land next turn, because once we draw the land here, I'd be able to adapt the Eel, get in for 5 most likely. Yeah, I think we just take the 5 here. We have Titanic Brawl also. Alright, what does our opponent have here? Alright, can't attack or block. That's fine. Alright, so this actually works out pretty well. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'll attack in here. I'll pump up the Eel. And now we have a 7/7 Liz Frog coming in next turn. And we have the Titanic Brawl. So as long as our opponent doesn't have another just another like binding or something like that, I think we're in pretty good shape. Alright, there's a shimmer possibilities from our opponent. Deputy of Detention, okay. Well, we're going to be able to deal with that, but it still kind of sucks. Alright, we have to be wary of our life total now. What is the play here? We could play Guardian and pass the turn, leaving up the Adapt. We could also Adapt, block, fight. Play Growth Spiral. I think I prefer the Guardian here. Then we can adapt either the Guardian or the Skittering Eel. We could also fight in response if they end up going for some sort of removal spell. Control. Okay. I was like, hold on. MTG Arena almost got the best of me here. Alright, I'm going for the Skittering Eel here. This could be game if our opponent has a removal spell for it. Alright, does our opponent have the other binding? Oh, this has Trample. This isn't the flying one. What was I thinking? I needed to Titanic Brawl there. My dumbass. Well, that was a loss. That was a big loss here. Reading the card explains the card. Remember that, folks. That was really stupid on my part. Alright, this hand's keepable. Yeah, well, I was thinking it was the blue one that gave flying for some reason, but no, that gives trample. This doesn't happen on MTGO. Yeah, I should have known. You know, Guardian, I should have just read it. For some reason, I was thinking Guardian gave flying, which would be really good, but I think I'm just going to pass the turn here and attempt to Growth Spiral. Alright, we didn't draw a land. Alright, there is our land. We'll go ahead and engineer here. So we missed our land drop, but we're not lacking by any means on mana. Alright, we'll take 2 here. Kind of like just playing Guardian. Just playing on a 5/5 on turn 4 feels pretty good. Return to our hand, that's fine. We draw a land here. Alright, now we have Frilled Mystic. Now I kind of just want to pass and see what our opponent does. Because we have Growth Spiral, Fairy Duelist, and Frilled Mystic, depending on what we want to do. I think we just take the 2 here. Need to wake up. It's almost noon where I live. I've been up since 7. I don't know why I'm tired. I've actually been up since 6. Alright, I think our opponent's just debating whether or not they want to play something, or... I think that's fine. That's not fine. Go ahead and get rid of that. Now if we draw land, I think we just play Skittering Eel, attack in for 3. What we could also do is leave up Fight. We didn't draw the eel, mana for the eel. I kind of almost feel like we need the Shimmer here. And just find the land. Yeah, if we didn't have this Engineer, our mana would be completely wonky, and we probably would have lost this match. I think we're going to go ahead and attack for 3 here, and leave up Growth Spiral and Titanic Brawl. If they just go for the Adapt here, I'm fine with just trading Frilled Mystic with the Hybrid here. We also have the Fairy Duelist we can flash in if we want. Which is actually something we can do. If they just go for the Adapt here, we can Fairy Duelist in response. Hey Fifi, enjoy your stream. Have a good time, man. If they go for the Adapt here, what we can do is just throw the Duelist out and then Titanic Brawl. I think I'm going to go for the Duelist here anyhow. Then I'm going to go ahead and go for the block here. And we'll see if they adapt in response. So now that they're using all their mana to adapt here, we can go ahead and fight it. And we don't lose our Frilled Mystic because it already had the minus from the Duelist. This felt like a pretty decent play. And now we have the mana left over where we can actually just Guardian here. And leave up the other Titanic Brawl. I'll get in here for 4. And we'll leave up Growth Spiral and Titanic Brawl, which will be pretty nice. We're going to have to do some Vintage Cube probably tomorrow. It was pretty unfortunate we missed out on Vintage Cube today. Alright, there's Chillbringer. I think that's fine. We'll see what they tap down here. Alright, that's fine. Do they have a follow-up? Go ahead and play the Growth Spiral. Play the land. And now we have enough mana where we can actually just play the Skitter. I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to fight the Chillbringer here. I think we'll go ahead and just get in for 4 and leave up the Adapt on either the Eel or the Guardian. And we'll see if our opponent has enough here to stabilize. We're empty-handed, unfortunately. Alright, what do you got, opponent? Alright, doesn't seem to be enough. So we did pick up the win there. That game number 1, completely my fault. We should have won that game, but I completely mistook a card I had for another. So we're up 2-1 currently, so let's go ahead and jump into another match. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're just tuning in, welcome. My name's Jordan. I run a YouTube channel called Crocodile MTG. We do primarily gameplay of MTG Arena when we're streaming, but overall, thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate your viewership. I think this hand's keepable. I think I'm going to go ahead and attempt a Growth Spiral on turn 2, and hopefully we can ramp up to these 5 and 7 drops. Our opponent is playing white. Ooh, Quench is good. Kind of like just quenching here. It may have been a little aggressive for most people, but I think here I'm going to go ahead and play the Growth Spiral. That way we can play the Shimmering possibilities as well. And now we're playing Chillbreaker next turn, which is just insane. I think I like the Homunculus. And now whatever they play, we'll just Chillbringer it. I guess we can't Chillbringer that. Alright, I don't mind a Gitrog Frog here. Let's not Gitrog Frog. I wish it was a Gitrog Frog. We have a Galloping Liz Frog here. Alright, that's fine. We'll tap her down here and get in for 3. Alright, create a 4/4 Sphinx. It's pretty decent. I don't mind just attacking here, and if they block, I'm just going to Duelist. We have to get in damage where we can. Our opponent's creatures definitely have some big butts. It's going to be hard to get through that. Alright, there's a Chillbringer from our opponent. Both of those have Vigilance as well. It's pretty rough for us. I think I like just making a 7/7 here. Curious what they have. Like, why would they... Okay. That's actually pretty decent. I'm not sure why they would... Oh, can we not block here? Oh, it just can't be blocked? What the heck? That's such a weird ability to have on a blue-white creature. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're taking 10. I'm pretty sure we just lose at this point. We have to draw the give all our creatures flying card, which we didn't. Interesting. We do have 3 flyers. I think we have to play this no matter what. I think the area homunculus is just going to end up being a chump blocker. I think we still attack in here for 7. There is a chance we can win off the back of their swing here. They could just have 2 turns with Arbiter, though. And the fact that Arbiter is just, you know, a basic... can't be blocked. We can't even block it in the next 2 turns. Alright, that's fine. Oh, does this actually just lock them up for the win? We'll see how they attack here. Yep, that should be enough. So I guess we block here and here, whatever. Yeah, we end up taking 4 no matter what. That was the route to victory, though, attacking last turn with the Wrecking Beast. Maybe I should have attacked the turn sooner with the Wrecking Beast, but it just felt like maybe that wasn't right. Alright, so we're currently, what, 2-2 or 3-2? We're currently 2-2. Let's jump into another one. Our deck, I feel like, turned out pretty well. I don't dislike the way we drafted. It just unfortunately happened. We didn't find any of our removal spells that game. Alright, this hand's a little interesting. I think it's worth keeping. I would like to find a green source, though. We'll start off, I think... The question is, do we want to leave this up as a removal spell later in the game, or do we want to just use it now? I think we just wait a couple turns. Let's just draw off the top of our deck and see what we end up hitting. We'll leave up this Quench on turn 2, and hopefully that'll slow our opponent down enough to be okay. Alright, let's go ahead and play this island here. I think I'm just going to pass. Alright, and we drew a green source, so we did not get punished for keeping this hand. We can actually ramp up this turn depending on what our opponent plays, and play Eel potentially next turn. Alright, so our opponent is Jeskai. Could be more than just Jeskai, but right now I'm seeing blue, white, green. Blue, white, red. We're playing green. Alright, that's fine. Playing Incubation, I don't think I have an issue with that. Because we're just going to be able to ramp up here for the Eel next turn. And our opponent's grabbing like a 2-2 with their Incubation. Like, that's nothing compared to what we have in our deck. Like, we're getting in for 5 right now, and they just played their third land. We have Fairy Duelist if we want to flash it in at end of turn. We also have Quench, which is pretty good. I think we're just going to ride the wave off the back of this Skittering Eel. Alright, our opponent down to 10. We have Incubation. We also have Fairy Duelist here. Alright, this is going to be rough for our opponent here. So what's going to end up happening is I'm just going to attack for 5 here. And our opponent's going to end up blocking. And then we're going to get the Fairy Duelist. And make it a 4-5, and we're just going to end it. I think I'm going to wait a turn on this Incubation. If they play anything super large, I want to go ahead and get rid of it. Our opponent is playing 5 colors. Create a 4/4 beast with trample. Okay. I think that's fine. Shimmer's pretty good here. I like the Titanic Brawl. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick that up here. Go ahead and play a land here. We'll fight and then get in for 6. And we'll see if our opponent has anything to stabilize here. We'll be able to exile anything like super large that can block the eel. We also have a 4-turn clock with Fairy Duelist, so hopefully we'll be able to find a way to get through the damage. We're still sitting at 20 with a lot of good cards in our deck, so I think we're in pretty good shape in this matchup. But again, our opponent can come back. We could just hit like 7 or 8 lands in a row and have a rough time. Alright, so there's a Steeple Creeper. Alright, so they want to give it +2/+2. Do I just exile it? I mean, this is what a... It's like a 1.5 to 1. I think I just exile it here. And then there's the win with the Chillbreaker off the top. Game opponent. That was a really good draw back to back there. Thank you all so much for watching. Please hit that follow button if you're enjoying today's content. Also go check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/crocodilemtg. It's where all my evergreen content lives. That's long-term content that you can find other places. I do a lot of Pioneer, Legacy, Modern, so if you're looking to get into those formats, go check out my content over there. Thank you all so much for watching. My dog has joined me in this room, so in case he starts getting noisy. What's up, bud? Come here. I guess he laid down. Alright, I don't mind this hand. We have the Quench. We are on the play. We also have the Fairy Duelist. Go ahead and play the island here. Go ahead and play a forest and pass the turn. I think we're just going to wait with the Duelist at the moment. I feel like it's better as a combat track later in the game. Being able to play Chillbreaker next turn is going to be pretty decent. If we draw something even better off the top for a library, that'll be pretty good. I'm actually fine with just playing the Eel here, I think, and saving the Chillbreaker. If our opponent attacks here, we can just Fairy Duelist and then attempt to block. Let's see if they attack here. Not gonna work out for our opponent. And then our follow-up can be a Titanic ball on the spy here. And we have this quench still up. So I think I'm fine with attacking for 6 here, leaving back the engineer. Alright, now we have a quench and a Titanic Brawl and a Chill Breaker, so we're looking in pretty good shape here. I think Ram's fine. Just a 2-2. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just attempt the Titanic Brawl now. Alright, it seemed to have stuck. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and play the Chill Breaker, I think, tapping down this Ram. And just get in again for 6. And if our opponent just makes a huge play next turn, we can just quench it. Yep, there's the quench. And that's probably going to be game. Attack with everything. That's exactly lethal. Alright, good game, opponent. We played that extremely quick, but we did play it, I believe, correctly. Alright, and we're 1 win away from joining the Platinum tier. So we'll jump back in here. We did start off this draft with like 1 and 2, and then we went to 2 and 2. Now we're up to, I believe, 5 and 2, if I looked at that correctly. Alright, this hand is questionable. This hand's really good if we draw a forest, and really bad if we don't. Do we want to risk it? We can risk it for the biscuits, or we can go ahead and throw this back. I think we do want to go ahead and take the mulligan here. Alright, this hand's actually better, I believe. I think I'm going to have to put the Titanic Brawl on the bottom. I think we want Shimmering here. We have a couple other removal spells in our deck, so I think I'm okay with putting the... Maybe not, because we draw a card with Growth Spiral. Maybe I just put Shimmer on bottom. Maybe that was the correct play. Let me know in the chat. Hey Methuth, how are you? Is that Logan or Dad? Must be Dad, because you should be at work. How's your lunch break going? Wait, you're at home, so... Okay. For a moment, I was like, am I being streamed to all your coworkers? But no. Alright, Zagana here was a pretty decent pickup. I'm going to go ahead and play her here. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have any removal spells. They are in white-black, so they probably have to sacrifice some stuff if they're going to play a removal spell. Alright, that is Death Touch, so that's kind of a removal spell. The question is here, do we want to just wait? I kind of think we just wait and just play the Guardian. Working from home is a struggle to not play WoW all day. When I saw you were on, I thought I'd come watch you play for a while. Fight your urge with WoW by hanging out with me. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, it's definitely a struggle. The first couple days I worked at home last week were pretty rough. But then by the end of the week, like I was just working normally. What I did was, and this might help, which I think I already talked to you about. I have another desk behind me here. So I made it so I'm never looking at my gaming computer. I was always looking at my other computer on the opposite side of the wall. And that ended up being pretty helpful when it came to trying to distance myself from the games. So here we're gonna hold up Frilled Mystic and hold up the ability to adapt as well. Yeah, same. I set up a second area in the living room away from the PC. See, even the living room I find is a little hard because maybe we should have countered that. I think this is okay though. The living room setup's a little hard sometimes, I feel like, because then you want to, like, kind of watch TV. Do I want to Titanic Brawl anything here? I feel like I do. Just get rid of the Watchdog here. Yeah, I had a hard time with just like working from home the first couple days, but I don't know. We got through. I was working hard the day they called me and laid me off, which kind of sucks. But we'll get through it. The question is here, do I attack for 7 or do I just hold up Frilled Mystic for the turn? The awkward part is if they don't play anything good here, we're not really getting through with anything. I kind of like just playing the Area Monculus here. And then play the Chill Breaker next turn. That or leaving up the Frilled Mystic and the ability to Area Monculus. Adapt it. Alright, let's see what our opponent has. Attack for 7, wipe out the line of tiny blockers. Yeah, they'll have to block. What did they just do? Double your life total, your opponent loses half their life total? Well, I wish we had a removal spell for that. Alright, I have to start getting in here. That really sucked. I wish we held up our removal spell. I should have attacked with the Area Monculus too. That was my bad. So now we're at a couple turn clock with this. Depending on what our opponent plays after. Alright, I think I'm just going to go ahead and Frilled Mystic here. I don't know if there's a way we're going to end up doing 38 points of damage. Well, more than 40 points of damage in the time it's going to take them to get through with everything. Alright, we'll attack for 5 here. Looks like the Tiny Panther is going to get in the way. If we find a way to get rid of this Guardian, I feel like we'll be in okay shape, but getting to that point is going to be a little rough. Especially since they can just deal 4 to us at any point in time. Like, at this point, we're on a 3-turn clock. Alright, Vigilance, Afterlife 1. We have to find something decent here. Returning them to their hand. Yeah, I think that's going to lock it up for our opponent. That's pretty unfortunate. Alright, that's a good draw. I think we just get in for 6 here. Actually, our opponent can hit us to 6, attack. I think we just lose this one. If our opponent attacks next turn, we actually are just going to end up dying on the back of this Inherent Continence. I really wish I would have held up the Frilled Mystic that one turn. I wasn't not expecting the Rebel Revenge. Alright. If our opponent attacks... Alright, they didn't attack here. I'm gonna go ahead and attack for 8. I just don't think there's a way out here. If they attack with both things, yeah. Now they just activate and we die. Yep, unfortunately that was not a game. After they got the Revenge activated, there was no way we were winning that. That's pretty unfortunate. We fell too short from hitting Platinum finally. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out the description below for more Magic the Gathering content. This was Jordan with Crocodile MTG, and we will see you next time.